Okay, so perfect timing. We will go ahead and dive in. So I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the seasons of the business and getting back to the foundation. I think we hear a lot, and there are seasons within the business, slow seasons, high seasons. It's, this model of a business has a lot of roller coasters. But that's kind of with anything in life. And so, if you are in a slow season, because I think a lot of times we hear that, summer months, people get busy, they're traveling, they're doing all kinds of things, and your business can kind of slow down. And that is totally normal. If you're feeling that right now, you are not the only one. With that being said, a little bit of a side note is we don't slow down our business just because somebody said it's a slow season. That doesn't mean we don't keep showing up. That doesn't mean we don't keep doing the things moving it forward. Just because it is traditionally a slow season does not mean it's a slow season for your business. You can choose to take that mindset of, everybody's kind of feeling it's a slow season. Maybe we'll just kind of let our foot off the gas a little bit and we'll kind of coast through the summer months, and then we'll pick back up when life levels out a little bit. Life never levels out, guys. Maybe, the summer season ends and people are starting to come back on track, but that's when your crazy season hits. And that's when something in your life, topples over or explodes and something big happens. And then all of a sudden this whole time you've been telling yourself, I'm going to pick up when everybody else starts coming back and picking up. But now you can't. Now is when you need to actually take a step back because of things that are happening in your life. So one thing that I want to talk about is the biggest and the most important thing that you can do in a slow season is how you react to it. The mindset you choose to have around that slow season, quote unquote slow season, and how you treat it. You can, get down on yourself because maybe you haven't had a sale yet this month. Guys, maybe it was 2 days ago, I got my first sale of the month. Like my first PPA. That's not typical for me. And I know I'm not the only one that experienced that this month. And if you're still looking for your first PPA, that's okay. That is okay. You're implementing the systems and this is what we're going to dive in tonight, in order to have that slow season turn into a high season next month. So if you take the mindset of getting down on yourself, I haven't had a sale this month, I'm not having conversations, nobody's talking, like nobody's even responding to me, they're opening the messages, they're completely ghosting me. Like if you're getting in that mindset and you're letting that, take over and really tank how you're thinking about things, one, you need to turn to some personal development and you need to dive into that and change your mindset. Or you can take the opposite effect and you can use the slow season to build the foundation of your business. You can take this slow season where maybe you're not having as many conversations. Maybe, you don't have as much follow-ups because of the fact that those conversations aren't happening or whatever it may be. And you can take this time to audit your business. Take a step back and look at the big picture. You can have goals, you can list goals, you can say, hey, I want to be a 4K, I want to be a 12K, I want to sell $1,000 this month, I want to bring on a promoter. You can have all these goals, but that's the big picture. You're not going to get to your goals unless you have a solid foundation, unless you have those stepping stones in place to, get yourself to those goals, essentially. Like you can't just show up and be like, I want to do this and not figure out a game plan to get there. So the stepping stones to get there are your IPAs. Your IPAs are income producing activities. So real quick in the chat, I want you guys to drop what you think your IPAs are. What are those activities that you're going to do to move your business forward, because these are the actions that you need to be taking every single day, whether it is a busy season or whether it is a slow season. These are the activities you need to do in order to actually move your business forward, move the needle, work your way towards those goals. Your IPAs aren't necessarily something that is going to pay off right then and there. Your IPAs are putting the work in so that it's paying off down the road, so that when you get to that, so you're building that foundation, you're building those systems so that when you get to that point where something happens in your life and maybe you need to take a little bit of a step back, maybe you need to slow down a little bit, maybe you can only show up for the bare minimum, that is when your IPAs that you have been consistent with, that you have been showing up with, that is when they pay off. That is when you see that duplication process and you see that snowball effect. Okay, so we have IPAs is being in my stories and letting my audience know that my door is open. Yes, absolutely. Building new connections, constantly growing your network, jumping in other stories and building connection. Yes, so that is authentically building that connection, reaching out to people, watching their stories, building a connection with them with outside of Thrive. Posting, showing up, so both posting in your feed as well as in your stories. And then yes, being active in your team chats, building leadership skills, all great aspects of your business, and definitely IPAs. I have being consistent, like we said, posting on your feed, in your stories, interacting and building relationships, like Bobby said, showcasing that your door is open, call to action. So that would be a way to showcase that your door is open, and then building your network. So continuing to build those connections, but also bringing on your team. And so that hits on what Bobby was talking about, is having, like, building those leadership skills, working on that, working on that side of things as well. So like I said, these are like non-negotiables in my business. No matter what, and it may not look the same every day, guys. Like I may not be hitting 5 this day and 5 that day or whatever. Maybe some days I'm doing 15, some days I'm doing 5, some days I've only got my 1 in. But if you were to look at the big picture, overall, I'm being consistent and I'm showing up for my business. But every day looks different, and that is okay. A part of what we're going to talk about is creating those systems in order to move your business forward. So like I said, you want to take the slow time to kind of take a step back and audit your business. Look at how are you showing up for your business? How are you working to move that needle forward, and where are you falling short? It is very important when you are your own boss, when you are doing your own business, to be honest with yourself. No, like, you're not, if you're only looking at the positives and you're not willing to call yourself out, and this might be a little bit of tough love, but if you're not willing to call yourself out on your bullshit, then it's just, you're not going to move your business forward, because you're not going to see your weak points, and your weak points are the areas that you need to improve. Those are the areas that you have to put that extra time and effort. The areas that don't come easy to you, those are the areas that you need to put extra focus on. So for example, for me, content and graphics and stuff like that is not a specialty of mine, but I have been making the effort to step outside of my comfort zone and to work on that. And because I know, one, the more time you put and effort you put into it, the easier it's going to be, but also they're all aspects of your business. And you can't rely on being strong in one area to pull the slack for the other area. You have to be willing to improve and be willing to call yourself out on your bullshit, essentially. I'm just going to say it. Okay. So areas, when you step back and audit yourself, areas that you want to look at are your content. Are you showing up, authentically? Are you showing up for who you are? Or are you out there and kind of looking at everybody else's post and trying to, it's one thing to look at somebody's content and see how you can apply that to your life. It's totally different to just kind of pull something. And I've done this, guys. I've been there, especially in the times where you're just not feeling creative or anything like that. It's very easy to get in the mindset of, let me just pull this from this person and use that. People can see right through that. I've done it. I've experienced it. It does not build your business. You have to figure out a way to connect with who you are. Bobby did a great call on this. I think it was last week, about your pillars. you know, figuring out your content. But she also, did you drop it in the big chat, the podcast today from No Shame Sales Game? If not, can you go ahead and drop it in the big Grit and Grind chat? It was a great one about, you want to know your pillars, you want to know who you are, guys. And this one hit home for me. Do not overthink it. She gave a great example, and it's super short, so go ahead and check it out, but do not overthink it. You want to authentically show up. Think about it. If you're going to a party, what are you going to talk about at a party? What is going to, like, you know, what things interest you, and share about that. Don't worry about niching down. Don't worry about being super specific about one topic or being super knowledgeable about one topic. Just be authentic and show up. So audit, you know, your content and what that looks like. Are you sprinkling in Thrive, or are you vomiting Thrive? Like, are you 100% always talking about Thrive, or are you really showcasing your life? Because I can tell you, if you're just talking about Thrive, people are not going to connect to that. Yeah, great. They would love to see, you know, transformation posts and stuff like that, but they're not going to connect with who you are. And ultimately, in order to move to that portion of creating that connection, making that sale, having people know, like, and trust you, you have to build that connection, and you have to let people in. You have to let people get to know. I'm not saying you have to share your dirty laundry or share every little detail about your life, but you do have to let people know, and you have to get vulnerable. So while you're sitting down to think about your content and figure out who you are, 5 points of things that interest you, what you want to talk about. Also think about those pain points. Think about ways that you can show up and be vulnerable, because that is super important. That is what people can connect with. Talk about why you started, what life was like before Thrive, what it's done for you now. And are you sharing just your story, or are you sharing other social proof? Are you sharing, you know, other people's experiences, both with the products and the promoter side of things? Another area too, and I'm just going to kind of give you points, like areas that when you want to sit down and audit your business, that you should be taking a look at, because it's like I said, it's not one portion that moves your business forward. It's all aspects that you need to be paying attention to. So another one, and you know, I wasn't great about this one until they brought it to my attention with the giveaway, the auto ships. Like I focus on auto ships. Obviously, I always reach out to my customers and offered credits when I could, but I really didn't focus on retention. And guys, if you don't have retention in this business, you are going to be spinning your wheels, because you're constantly going to try, and you have to, every month you're going to feel like you're trying to fill that gap just to get back to where you were. If you can master customer retention, if you can get that customer service, then you're going to just build, because you're going to reach. And now people are going to fall off. That's going to happen. It's not for everybody. People are going to fall off and they're going to come back. You're going to have that. But if you're making a point to sit down and audit that part of your business and do what you can to retain your customers, then your business is going to go so much further, because you're not going to be fighting against yourself to keep going. Essentially, you're doing yourself a favor while also helping your customers along the way. Again, consistency is a big one. Do you have a routine? Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, is your days might look different day to day, but do you have some sort of checklist, some sort of way to keep yourself on track to make sure you're showing up? It's very easy to feel like you had those conversations. It's very easy. I mean, the posts and stuff like that, you can see what you did, but if you're not tracking, if you're not keeping, you know, some sort of tracker of what you're actually showing up, or if you don't have those boxes to check every day, then it's very easy to think you're showing up for your business, but you're not. Like, you're not actually doing the IPAs to move your business forward, or you're not doing, it's not that you're not doing it, but you may not be doing it at the speed that you want to be doing it. Your business may not grow at the speed that you want it to grow. I don't know how to mute everybody. Kyra, mute your screen. That's not Kyra. Hi, Gracie.
Hi.
You want to unmute or mute yourselves? I would do it on my end, but I don't know how. Oh, I got it, I think. Okay. Sorry, I've been there. I've unmuted before and stuff happens in the background. Let me tell you. Okay, so the consistency, having those boxes to check, but also another one to look into is leadership. And this can look like a lot of different things depending on where you are in your business. If you are just getting started, do little things to step outside of your comfort zone. That could be as simple as answering questions in the group chat. You know, coming up with helping out your teammates and stepping a little bit into that leadership role a little bit at a time. Doing your own graphics, being able to you know, create that kind of stuff as you go. As your team grows, are you showing up as the leader? Are you leading the way? Are you you know, helping your teams succeed? Are you creating, whether that may be, you know, just checking in with them, seeing how they're doing, seeing areas that you can help them out, offering one-on-ones to help not only grow your leadership skills, because obviously the more practice you have, the better you get. Guys, I was terrified to do one-on-ones in the beginning. Hi, baby girl. Wait, I'll be out in a minute, okay? Okay. Okay, go ahead. So if you are like, if you're offering those, I was terrified to do one-on-ones, guys. Like I was absolutely terrified to start. I was terrified to do these calls. But stepping into those leadership roles is the only way you can grow, because eventually in your business, you do get to a point where you need to have those leadership skills. You need to tap into that in order to grow your business and help others do it along the way. Because let me tell you guys, that's the fun part. Being able to show up and help your girls succeed along with you is probably my most favorite part of this business, being able to tap into, you know, the team aspect of things. You can also, you know, offer incentives depending on, you know, where you're at in your business and how that works for you. But are you also, like, the biggest thing is, are you showing up in your business the way you want, whether you have girls or not, whether you have a team or not, are you showing up in your business the way you would expect your girls to? Because typically the scale that they tell you is you want to lead by example, and you can expect your team to do half of what you're doing. I'm not saying, and you know, you still work your business in the same way, but you can never expect girls to do more than what you are willing to show up for. You cannot, this business is not built on leaning on your team, yes, but not relying on your team. Like it's not, you're not building yourself on your team. You are here to help build your team. And that is a leadership role that you need to be able to step in as you grow. And the sooner you realize that, sooner you're willing to step out of your comfort zone and work on that, the better it's going to be. So those are a couple of areas that when you're having this slow season, when you're kind of sitting back and like, what is going on? Why am I not having conversations? Why are people all of a sudden ghosting me? You know, things are really slow right now. Take the time to step back and audit yourself. But also, once you find those weak points, figure out systems that you can implement in order to correct them, in order to work on them. So a couple of things that I wanted to point out that are possibilities for systems that well, actually, go ahead and drop in the chat. What are some systems that you think you can implement to help move your business forward? And I'm gonna see if I miss anything in here. Yes, I love what Bobby said. She said, add to your routine you have. Take 5 minutes of time to connect with one person or post something on your stories. Keep it stupid simple. Yes, 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 yes. Do not overthink it. This is Bobby told me this from the beginning, and you know me, I didn't listen. But set a timer, give yourself a task. Do not get distracted in that. Like, this is 5 minutes of business. This is 10 minutes of business. That's it. Set a task and complete that task and then go about your day. Today, I actually ended up taking a chill because I felt like there were so many things going on in the business. I was overwhelmed. There's so many different things to keep track of. We're trying to maintain bonuses. We're trying to lock in auto ships. We're trying to earn a trip. There's just so many, and then the promo got extended. There's so many things, and it's very easy to get overwhelmed. So when that happens, take a step back and break it down. Break it down into segments of what you need, like write down the list of first do a brain dump. This is what I do. Do a brain dump, all the things that are on your mind, and then try to break it down into different areas that you can focus on and go from there. Set a timer and just check the box. And once it's done, you will feel 1,000 times better. Okay, ask someone on the team for input. IG stats. I look at my real input. So ways to audit. I look at my real inputs and see if it's being saved and shared, seeing what my audience likes. So that's a great way to audit yourself and see if your content is actually connecting with others, because that makes a big difference. We don't want to just be putting stuff out there that this is a fine line, because you want to be genuine and authentic. You want to share the things that connect with you, but at the same time, you want to find those areas that are going to connect with others. So, okay. A couple of systems that I'm inputting, like after taking a step back and looking at my business, a couple of areas that I want to work on, again, is that customer retention. So a couple of ideas that I've come up with, and I know others have shared as well, is I'm going to start at the beginning of the month. I'm going to look at my customers from last month, and I'm going to send out a thank you card. I'm going to send out a thank you card for saying, thank you for thriving with me. And I'm going to probably input either like a chill or a heat, something that's super small that I can still just pop it in the mail. But they get to try something new. Everybody always loves a freebie, whether they like it or not. And just the thought of, hey, just saying thank you. So that's one. Also, the referral program. The referral program is huge for a lot of reasons. One, if you can get a customer thriving for free, they are a heck of a lot more likely to stay on with you and keep thriving. So that's customer retention. Two, that's building your network without even you having to do it. So something that I personally like to do is I check in with after I send out, or after I get somebody started, I mention it up front. Like I let them know, I mentioned that we have our referral program. Excuse me, if they've tried a sample pack, like if they tried a sample pack and then they bought their product, I will then right then and there offer them 2 sample packs, because they've already tried the product. They are already in love. And I offer them 2 free sample packs to find somebody to see if we can get them thriving for free. If they have not tried it yet and they just sign up, then I will obviously keep checking in with them. And then around the 2-week mark, I will again offer them 2 free sample packs. If you don't offer free sample packs, that's fine. That just happens to be what I do. But the question is, are you even letting them know that they have the ability to thrive for free? Are you sharing that? Are you like right when they get started? Like when somebody asks me the price point of our products just before they even start, I send them the graphic, but I also let them know. I always follow it up with the fact that they have the ability to thrive for free. Always. And then I personally mentioned the fact, and I have free samples to help you do that. If that's not if you don't offer free samples, that's totally fine, but make sure you are letting your customers know that they have the ability to thrive for free and get their products for free. And then another thing that I was toying around with is possibly doing a monthly giveaway, maybe gummies or something like that for all of my customers that continue on AutoShip. So right now, I personally send out credits to be able to cover shipping or help them try a new product or something like that. But I'm also thinking about, or if you don't have credits to be able to share with all of your AutoShip people, maybe you can put them into a drawing for just one product. And that way you're sharing, but you're not also just forfeiting all of your credits that you may not have. So I'm toying around with the idea of doing a monthly giveaway for all of my customers staying on AutoShips for 2 reasons. Again, you're helping yourself in the long run, you're helping your customers, you're building your business, but you're not recreating the wheel every month. If you don't have that customer retention, you have people falling off, then you're basically fighting yourself every month to be able to just get back to where you were, and you're not really growing. So using those different avenues of being able to help your customers and being able to use the referral program to build your network is incredible incentive. I've never seen that anywhere else. And last but not least, I wanted to mention something that was on leadership call. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Ashley Cooper shared, Cooper, I think that's her last name. Ashley Cooper shared it. And it was about her VIP, hold on, I think I missed something. Yeah, so it was about her VIP promo list. Once you get and there are two different ways to look at this. Once you get a customer on board, basically what she would do is she'd get them all set up and then she'd follow it up with, awesome. Okay, so moving forward, I'm going to put you on my VIP customer list. That way, when I have promos drop or the corporate drops promos, I'll reach out to you so we can get you the best savings moving forward. That way, it's easy to follow up with your customers. They already know that when things drop, you're going to be reaching out to them. So it doesn't feel icky. It doesn't really feel icky to follow up with customers, but when a sale comes and when you're constantly, the part that starts to feel icky to me, and it's not, is when you're constantly dropping promos and you don't hear back. Like when they're not responding, you start to think in your head, like, okay, maybe they're not interested, maybe I'm annoying them, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, people just maybe open their thing and they're like, this one's not for me. And that's it. They didn't mean anything by it. So basically that's what she will do for a customer that's on board. If she gets to 5, if she drops 5 promos and they didn't respond, she follows it up with, hey, I've noticed that the last 5 promos that I've dropped have not worked for you. Are you still interested in thriving? What is your budget? I would like to help you get started or, back on Thrive or whatever, depending on where they're at, within your budget to help you out. So that's an easy way to follow up and figure out, hey, maybe these promos didn't work for them because the budget just wasn't there. So it's an easy way to follow up. You might also find that, they're not interested anymore, and that's fine because we don't want to waste our time following up with people that aren't, interested in the products anymore. Another one is if a potential isn't ready to pull the trigger, like they haven't found a pack that they want to start with, or it's just not the right time. When they say no, following it up with, hey, okay, would you mind if I put you on my VIP promo list? That way, when sales drop or I have sales, I can reach out to you and let you know. Easy way to build your follow-up list, easy way to build that list to be able to have people when something drops to be able to reach out to them. Most of the time, unless they are a hard no, people are going to want to know what the promos are. They're going to want to know what the sales are. So that's another way to be able to reach out. But that is kind of it. Just being able to sit back, take a step back, look at your business. If you're having a high month, great, run with the high, keep doing what you're doing. Just have this in the back of your pocket when that slow month comes, because I'm here to tell you guys it's going to hit at some point or another. And to be able to have these in, your back pocket, to be able to be like, okay, this is what's going on. Let me take a look at my business. Let me see areas that I can adjust. Let me build that foundation so that when it picks up again, when we start taking off, I already have these systems implemented and it's just streamlined. It's easy to go. Or if you have that point where you're like, life's getting tough, I can only show up for the minimum IPAs right now, that's all I've got. You've already got these systems implemented and you already have that solid foundation to be able to run with for your business. But unless anybody has, my son almost ran naked. Nice stuff. Happens to me all the time. But unless anybody has, any questions or anything like that, I'll check the chat real quick. I don't think I saw anything. Adding what they helped you with by buying from you that month. Yes, absolutely. And then I already saw Bobby's. So, okay. I didn't see any questions come through. So thank you guys for showing up. It's always fun to be able to host these. Nerve-wracking, yes, but fun. So have a great night, guys. Thanks for hopping on.